So I want to talk about the PhD admission process for 2025, maybe even 2026. And I want to talk to you about the mindset of how to do this. And it's really weird. I am a professor and I walk around at different conferences, and there'll be people that are in extraordinarily good places and they come up and thank me. And it's a really weird moment for me because they've been following along with the Reciprocity Project. So hopefully you do the same thing with this. So the key thing that you want to always think about in any PhD admission process, any doctoral admission process, is to not take it seriously. And I know that's really, 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 really hard. I say this so many times, and I say it in so many different ways, that the process is the process. And it's kind of like a meat grinder when you go through it. So there's a couple of other things I want you to really think about. It's kind of like a meat grinder, that there is a sort of structure that's kind of somewhat made up, but everybody tries to make it so it seems like it's this very serious thing, but it's really not. But there is this structure that goes on, and we have to do things. The process has to do things that are vetted, that there has to be some sort of logic and rationale behind them. And I'm going to tell you this right off the get-go, that I'm not a big fan of rationality, in the sense that it often makes a ton of mistakes. But if you don't take it seriously, in the sense that you're going to absorb, you're going to get a lot of rejections. It's going to feel like you can't do this. The process is very, very painful. It is a lot of work. But what you need to come into it, acknowledging that there is a lot of randomness that happens to it. And so you could do everything correct. You can do everything that you thought you should do, and it won't work out the way that you thought it should. Now, for the golden child, it will work out for them. It'll be very easy and things will work out. But for everybody else, that's not the way that this works. And there is a ton of rejection that you have. So you'll get a lot of rejection, and that is okay. I want you to internalize that it's not you, it's this process. So if you do get a lot of rejection and it doesn't work out for you, just repeat, go back and do it again in another year. And there is people that are very old that are starting any doctoral program, like very old, that you're like, they're that old and they're doing this? Yes, people do these things. They want to do discovery. Now, that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that you're going to want to be self-centered and selfish. And I know that sounds, I probably lost people already by saying that. But by you focusing on how good you are and demonstrating that the thing that you're doing is really spectacularly good, and you have all of these credentials, you're missing out on a huge opportunity, that you are actually talking to an audience that is very self-centered themselves, right? We're all extraordinarily self-centered. So I want you to, instead of not and talk about yourself, I want you to talk about the other people that are involved, that are going to be the key decision makers that are involved in this, right? And what do I mean by that? Talk about their research interests. And I'm not saying manipulate, your interests. What I'm saying is really think about what they are thinking and where they are. So you have to sometimes read just a little bit, glance. By the way, every research program is going to have you read so much that you're going to want to cry, right? That's the nature of the beast. That's a scientific process. It's horrible, but at the same time, that's the nature of the beast, to get everybody up to snuff. Every major program is going to be that way, and it's not something that I like. I don't prefer to do that, but that's the standard, and we can't reverse the standards like technology, right? Like once you get AI and you open up AI, we can't go back to where we were. You have to really work towards what we are in. And so that's where you have to say, hey, I'm going to be not so selfish, and I'm going to focus on somebody else, and I'm actually going to read some of their stuff, just a little bit, right? It doesn't even matter how much you actually read, but you want to actually think about how they are feeling and what they are going through. And if you do that, that helps out a lot, right? You have to do all of these sort of standardized tests and all that kind of stuff, but then there's that other thing of demonstrating that you're actually talking to somebody, right? It's flattering when somebody actually talks about you and talks about your research interests. That's the nature of the beast. That's how it works. So I want you to think about those two things. First thing is don't internalize it. The other thing is really think about, by the way, we're just cutting the grass right now at our house, so I just thought I'd do a video. Really think about not yourself, but who the other people are, and put yourself in their feet. But then the other thing to really think about is to make sure that you apply as broadly as you can. Sometimes you don't understand. It's a kind of a non-rational process. It's very rational, but a non-rational process in the sense that you don't know who's on the market and all of those kind of things. And if people don't get back to you, I used to say it was like really on them, but I kind of am very sympathetic at this point that there is a lot more that's going on behind the scenes. Sometimes you just get a lot of emails. I'm getting that point myself. It's just getting hard. And I need to prioritize my family. People reach out to me almost every day about this kind of stuff, and it's just getting very hard to keep on top of it. So don't feel offended if something like that happens. So that's where I want to come from, and that's where I want you to understand is really think about what it is that you are doing, how you're communicating things, and don't take the process so seriously. It's not a reflection on yourself. It really, truly is not. It's a reflection on the process. And we all know the process is a bit of a nightmare, but that's the process. Do I wish I can change it? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with the whole Reciprocity Project, is trying to change it. But it's a slow, painful process along the way. So check out the Reciprocity Project. You're going to find a whole bunch of other videos about this kind of stuff that's going to be really helpful for you. But as well as I'm trying to build this platform to democratize the production of research. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.